Bloomberg Intelligence is reporting that they are standing by their 90% chance of approval prediction by January 10th, which means within 8 days, we're going to see a Bitcoin ETF approval according to Bloomberg Intelligence. So there's that positive news. And we also have the, well, negative news. Kind of a funny thing here is that Jim Cramer is starting to lean more bullish on Bitcoin now. And this has people worried because his track record has been quite poor over the years. But I think that Jim Cramer kind of just goes with the crowd. I think he just, everyone's talking about Bitcoin ETF and he feels the pressure to be bullish. So that is a contrarian thing to consider, is that everyone's getting bullish. The ETF approval is likely, and there's a lot of speculation, a lot of leverage. It's going to be heavy on the top side for Bitcoin, meaning that if there is a major rejection, there would be a lot of liquidations take place. So just keep some caution on the table as we move into this event. But nonetheless, the charts look pretty damn bullish. Bitcoin is maintaining the trend. We have another RSI breakout taking place. And the last time we had this type of an RSI downtrend breakout, Bitcoin went up about 15 or 16% to the next high. So if we were to repeat that same type of percentage move on this RSI breakout, you could say that Bitcoin is looking for at least, 48,000. If you were to measure it from that candle low, or if you're going to measure it from the breakout zone, that's going to be giving us about 52,000, 52,000 would be the target. So there's definitely some room to move up on this daily RSI breakout. The charts are not showing any signs of reversal. So that is positive news for the bulls. Now, one of the more interesting charts is the weekly chart for Bitcoin. The weekly chart for Bitcoin, we're sitting in a very peculiar position, and that is being above the 70 level on the weekly RSI. We actually just bounced above the 70 level on this recent weekly. The last time we were in this zone was here in 2020, 2021. We had about a 25-week period where we sustained levels above the 70 level on the weekly RSI. It wasn't until 25 weeks after breaking that level, the trend actually died down. 25 weeks, that's like half a year almost. And now we're in the same type of position again. Just for fun, if we take 25 weeks and we mark that up, that actually brings us to April of this year, which means the halving. Kind of interesting. Is it possible that Bitcoin could maintain the 70 level all the way into the halving? I mean, that's just speculation, but maybe that is the case. Maybe that is what Bitcoin's looking for. So that is why I'm talking about this. It is quite significant because it's going to be pretty easy to know, I think, if we're going to get a correction. Because a lot of people are wondering, when the hell are we going to get a pullback? Well, if we can't hold 70, that's when you get these pullbacks. That's when things, start to come down heavily. As long as we're bouncing off of 70, that is what I call a power trend. That is when we should expect the trend to be maintained. If we fail 70, if we come back down, let's say we bounce off of it and then eventually break below, that's where you're going to be looking for your correction. That's where things are likely going to, we're going to see some ugly liquidations at that point if we're breaking below 70. I always like to give myself an idea of how this could really play out while still being bullish. If you go back here to 2016, this is what happened on the way up to the all-time high. We're talking about like 40% down on a upward sloping trend line. And so if Bitcoin did do this type of a move, that right there is also about 40% down, 39% down. So that's standard stuff, guys. You gotta definitely be ready for it. And this is kind of going back to the point I was making about how everyone's getting bullish with the ETF approval. Jim Cramer's getting bullish. People are leveraging, buying Bitcoin. And so if we do continue up that zone right there, which is like just below 60, it's kind of like between 57 or 57 and a half to about 60,000. That's going to be an area of heavy resistance right here. So if we have ETF approval plus pumping, like bullish speculation, and everybody that has just aped into the market is rewarded, well, we're going to become really top heavy for Bitcoin. And if we reach this zone without a correction beforehand, that's where I would think we would probably see a flush before gearing up for the all-time high break. Like a final flush is always possible. It's always possible. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just some speculation for you here. Subscribe if you like this kind of content, and join the Patreon if you guys want extra insights. If you want direct communication with me, join the Patreon. You can see what altcoins we're buying and much more. I'll see you guys in the next video.